Welcome back. This is our second segment, and this is our trade of the week. And this is for the weekend of May 2nd, 2026. As always, we start with our gaps. And as you can see, we pretty much, well, wild day on Thursday, gap up, and we've closed almost every gap that we had this past week. Friday, we came pretty close to closing this gap, but not quite yet. So we will look forward to this coming week for that. Now, as far as the gold, what we can see on the 60 minutes and GLD, we see how we moved and we hit the lower edge of the cloud and we closed down. So the DMI negative is above the positive. So that's why it's, again, we don't have a positive bias at this time. It's kind of a wait and see. And we see that more on a daily basis though, with the GLD. We see how we hit our 38.2% support, bounced back, but we are right against the standard line, and then we have turning line. We are below the cloud. The lagging line is below the cloud. So the bias is really to the to down unless we break above the cloud. We go through this, which is getting thicker and thicker, and close above this resistance. So as you can see, the DMI negative is above the positive. The ADX, the trend strength, just turned positive above the 20. So maybe we're getting a little trend. This is important to see if we can push through these resistances. All right, ETF of the week, the best performing ETF was a Global X Hydrogen, HYDR. They were up 13.2%. Our underperformer was the Gold Explorers, GOEX, was down 7.2%. The other strength came in the rare earth, REMX, up 6.8%, and the gold Sprott Gold Miners SGDM was down 6.5%. A couple of weeks ago, looking at our linear regression channel, we mentioned that XLE had gone to the negative 2 standard deviation. Watch that. Momentum was negative, and what we do, we look for the change of color from red to yellow, and we once that happens, then that gives you the um, higher probability we will bounce. And you can see what happened in past 2 weeks. And we broke above the 20-day, 21-day actually, moving average, exponential moving average. But we've gone to the 1 standard deviation. So that's why you see the resistance. As far as the Magnificent Seven, because we had Magnificent Five earnings, well, we see that we pretty much respected our expected move. And why was that? Because, as you will see, some stocks went down. There were like Microsoft, Meta, and then some like Google, um, actually, and Apple. They performed very well. So that's why you see it's right in the middle. I mentioned about SpaceX. It's been very hot. Uh, Again, projection is or prediction is that it's going to be the hottest IPO. So I thought, well, why don't we look at some pure ETFs that they invest in space? And there are three pure ones: the UFO, Procure. We have PL, which is Planet Labs, and Rocket, and these are some pure space, and this is an and then we have some ETFs like ARKKX, the ARK Space, uh, and we have KTOS, and we have LHX. So these are some SpaceX related issues and ETFs. So something that you can look at and think, but if you want to explore SpaceX, ways to get involved with these kind of related stocks and ETFs. As far as the stock of the week, well, we have our Magnificent Seven, plus we have Intel and Micron, and based on relative strength, Intel has been on fire. We have Google, had a nice gap up. So I hope you play these gaps. I mean, you can put a bracket and see if goes below that, it will fill that gap. If not, it will continue. Amazon was strong. Micron continues its strength. Apple, a big gap up, and as you will see, hit the resistance. And then with a lot of new products coming up. Magnificent Seven, well, pretty flat, but still nicely above the 18 and 20 and 50-day moving average. Tesla had a nice bounce of 20 and above 50. Microsoft, well, it gapped down, but then it bounced off its 50 and 20. Nvidia, we will talk more about Nvidia, bounced off, it's right sitting at 20-day moving average. Meta, that's a big one. Again, these are a lot of AI related, and Meta had a big gap down and could not come back up, unlike other ones. And it's below its 20 and it's below its 50. So be careful when you want to get into some position. Just make sure you know what is the expected earning date. That's things like this happen. We had this golden cross, and boom, we have a gap down based on earnings. So let's look at Apple. Apple, basically, with its earnings, had a nice jump, went right against its all-time high, and that's got rejected, and we are right outside the expected move, but came very close. As a matter of fact, what you can see again, these are our projections, and we see how we had hit 138.2, got rejected, came down all the way to 38.2%. We are way back up again, but it looks still good above the 20 and above the trend line and standard line and above the cloud. But we need to break above this to go all the way to like 295 area. Amazon nicely went up, hit all-time high, hit against its upper edge of its expected move and came back inside. Google, a big gap up, way outside this expected move. Then we had Meta, the opposite, went way below its expected move. That was a big move down. And then Microsoft came down but bounced off its lower edge of its expected move. Now, NVIDIA will be a major one. And May 20th will have its earnings. So um, that's something the market will follow very closely. So in about 3 weeks. So that one actually, again, is the AI getting tired? So there's are the investments are returning as much as expected? So that's something we are looking after hitting all-time high again. We broke below the up at the lower edge of expected move. We also, when I look at the trend line on a daily basis, we broke below the short term or intermediate term uh, trend line, and we broke below the 10-day moving average. We could go down to 30-day moving average. We also, on a cloud, we see that we have broken below the turning line. Generally, there are times that when we are right in between the turning and the standard line, we are at 50%. It could bounce back, or the next move will be to that standard line. We're still above that on a weekly basis. All of them, we are above the cloud. But on a short term, you can see how our 60 minutes gave us heads up. We broke below the 30-day minutes. We broke below the cloud, and 10 minutes we've been sitting below the cloud. The only good news on 10 minutes is the cloud is getting really thin, so we could break above that, but we want to watch the DMI, the directional ones, to see get positive. And when we look at even another chart, we see how the 200-day moving average, where it is, we are sitting right at the 20. So MACD just crossed the negative. Again, the earnings is coming on May 20th, so we want to watch for that. Tesla. Nice move. Uh, went outside and then came back right inside the upper edge of expected move. Also in the short-term trend line, we can see where is the support and where is the resistance about 410 area. As far as Intel, way outside this expected move at a high of $100. This is parabolic, unbelievable move. This is over 100% in a little bit over a month. One thing we had stocks of the month. I just want to go over again. We talk about technology. Our pick of the month in July of 2025 was this company called Twilio. We spoke about that and we recommended Twilio as a if you wanted to purchase it. And I just wanted, so this was right around here. That was $57. After our purchase, you can see it's a huge move, went up, but it has been, of course, with the tariffs, the last 2025, we had a big drop, but you can see how we kept on a weekly basis right on our 50-week moving average. And then what has happened since February, we've had this huge move. We broke above this resistance at around 150, and now we're at $103. So, as I mentioned, we are up 219% since that recommendation. So that's good. Last but not least, Caterpillar. I want you to look at this weekly chart. This is from April of last year. It was about $250 or so. Uh, we are at 808, almost $890. It's amazing move. And look at this support line, this trend line, how it's kept it above that. But why? And we even look at this is going back. It's been unbelievable. Some of the stories, you think about Caterpillar, think about construction and well, this with AI, structures and all of that, well, they need caterpillars of the world. So it's amazing how it has been huge. Look at this move and the relative strength versus S&P. So it just sometimes we look to so much excitement, we forget about some of like these things that look very boring for us. Anyway, scan for our squeezes this week. We're gonna use our international stock, the ADRs, and these are some ideas like America Mobile, which is a Mexican telecommunication, and BTX. So just food for idea. And again, this week, earnings season is winding down, but the two big ones I would suggest is Palantir on Monday and Advanced Micro Devices on Tuesday. We also have DoorDash, we have Uber, Marriott, McDonald's, so and Disney. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a prosperous week ahead. Bye for now.